Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 80 of Sooner Girl Sports Pod. And I can't wait to get you caught up on the Sooner headlines of the week, and also for you to hear my interview with our golfer, Audrey Rischer. But before we get there, let's thank our show sponsors. And we have a new one to add this week. First of all, Marvin's Place, a fine art gallery and listening room located in the Depot District in Ardmore, Oklahoma. Come experience amazing artwork, and on Friday nights, visit the listening room, an intimate and unplugged venue. We host singer and songwriters on Friday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Relax with a glass of wine or craft beer and enjoy some wonderful music. You can find more, including links to their social media, music calendar, and all artwork and jewelry available at the gallery on their website at marvinsplace.gallery. Also, again, thank you to Therapy to Go in Ardmore, the funnest place in town to drive through for a drink, and you don't even have to get out of your car. They have a large variety of spirits as well as fountain drinks and snacks. And you can find them on Facebook and Instagram at Therapy to Go Ardmore. And be sure and tell them that Larissa from Sooner Girl Sports Pod sent you for a free koozie. Also, right next door to Therapy to Go in Ardmore is Hogans Jif-E-Lube on West Broadway. It's your one-stop shop for full-service car maintenance, including oil changes, filters, tires, and more. So stop by and see Johnny and the guys at Hogan's and tell them that Larissa from Sooner Girl Sports Pod sent you. Also, a quick update on an injury that I heard about just this past week about Trell Harris suffering a hamstring injury, and that could keep him out for a couple of weeks as the season begins. And so I just wanted to mention that. I do not know any other details about it. Obviously, injuries are not something that's super discussed at the moment, but if I hear anything else on it, I will be sure to update you, as our football season is only 46 days away. So we will be getting into fall camp here in the next couple weeks. We just finished SEC Media Days today as I'm recording this. I do have an episode coming up next week that's dropping on Wednesday the 29th with the guys from Sooner Scoop, and we will talk about all things SEC Media Day, so you won't want to miss that one as we ramp up to prepare for football season. Also, just want to give a quick shout out to something very fun that I have coming up next week on Monday, July the 27th at 7 p.m. It will be a 1-hour event on Google Meet. You must message me to get the link for this. I'm doing a home plate huddle in place of my monthly online huddle with my locker room girls, our baseball moms, Christy Gilpin, who is Dayton Talkie's mom, and Kristen Cleveland, who is Jackson Cleveland's mom, and a couple of other moms will also be joining us to chat about all things College World Series, the National Championship, and the draft. So you won't want to miss that one. Ladies, this one is just for you. If you're interested in finding out more about how to join us, you can go to my Substack at SoonerGirlSportsPod.substack.com/subscribe, or shoot me a message. I'm at Sooner Girl Pod on any social media, and I'll be happy to help. Okay, on to a few quick Sooner headlines for this week. Thought it was interesting. I wanted to share that Oklahoma Athletics announced just the other day they broke their fiscal year fundraising record with $241 million in gifts and commitments from July 1st of 25 through June 30th in 2026. Pretty crazy. That number is more than double the previous record set last year. Of course, I do think that's only going to be the trajectory going forward as things are changing. Of course, with the stadium upgrades, things are going to be costing more. It is fantastic nonetheless to see so many Sooner fans and alumni being able to support our university at that level. Of course, the Kimmery family being a main part of that with the baseball stadium upgrades and everything going on. So it's pretty cool. Also, just wanted to mention the summer sale and Meet the Sooners Day is happening on August the 8th. So mark your calendars if you want to get out for that. It will be at the Moser Indoor Track Facility, just 1 block east of Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. The sale will take place there and will feature equipment, shoes, apparel, and other items, and will run from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. One Oklahoma members get early access from 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and the general public granted access at 10:30 a.m. Following that, the Meet the Sooners will be on the main stadium concourse, held from 1 to 2:30 p.m. And just like last year, it will be limited to members of the Sooner Kids Club, ages 12 and under, and One Oklahoma for those ages 13 and above. So if you want more information on that, you can check out the Sooner Sports website to get all signed up. Also, again, just a reminder, SEC Media Days did happen today as I'm recording this. John Mateer, Eddie Pierre Louise, Taylor Wine were the speakers who went with Coach Brent Venables to that event. It's a really good sign that EPL got to attend for the O-line, as he is representing in that leadership role. That's pretty awesome. And again, I'll have that recap with the guys from Sooner Scoop on next week's episode, dropping on Wednesday, the 29th. Shout out to our women's basketball player, Emma Tolan, as she dropped 17 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists against the Czech Republic at the FIBA Under-20 Women's Euro Basketball. Just last week, the girls finished her team from Ireland in the tournament in 8th place following their final classification game. Also, shout out to our women's gymnastics coach, KJ Kindler, for making her elite coaching debut just this past weekend with our Sooner Izzy Stasi and the U.S. Classic. So pretty cool to see her and her husband Lou Ball taking part in that. Also, shout out to our men's gymnast who just graduated, Ignacio Yockers, for being named to Spain's European Championships team. Him and Team Spain will compete in Croatia on August 19th through the 23rd. Also, a quick update on baseball coaching staff, as OU Baseball announced they are hiring Ken Guthrie as an assistant coach and the assistant director of scouting and player personnel. Guthrie heads to Oklahoma after serving as a North Texas and Oklahoma area scout for the Mets organization. He joins Tyler Johnson, which is Skip's son, as a new hire for the Sooners. Also, a couple updates on our guys who made some big moves after the draft was over last week. We had 2 more Sooners sign with teams in the MLB. Isaac Williams signed with the Toronto Blue Jays, and my guy Jackson Cleveland signed with the KC Royals. Jackson's mom, Kristen, is one that I met in Omaha. We've connected on social media for a while. She is going to be a part not only of my home plate huddle for my ladies next Monday, but also on the Oklahoma episode, there will be 5 player interviews, 2 of those moms as well, dropping on August 5th. So baseball fans will want to mark your calendars and not miss out on that one. Also, big news on softball as #1 ranked recruit from the 2027 class from Wagner, Oklahoma catcher Goose Juliana Hutchins has reclassified and will join OU in the fall. Now, some people have pointed out, does that mean OU is losing that #1 recruit in that class? Actually not. We also have a commit from the #2 player in the 2027 class. So now that Goose has reclassified, she will move up to the #1 recruit. So Oklahoma will still have the #1 recruit in the 2027 class. So pretty cool for the Sooners, of course. Also want to give a quick shout out to my friends, Coach Kirby, the Coach Curb Sports Talk with Kirby and Bergie. They had Goose Hutchins on their podcast just this past week. So go give them a look. They're on Substack, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Give them a follow, of course. And also check out their episode. They've had several great guests so far. They got some good ones coming up, I know, but they did have Goose Hutchins on last week. So softball fans, for sure, that would be a great one for you to listen to. So go check them out on your favorite podcast app. Also want to give a shout out to our former Sooners who have been named in the AUSL All-Star Cup with the Blaze, Alyssa Brito and Kalani Ricketts, with the Sparks, Sid Romero, and with the Portland Cascade, Sam Landry. I'm not sure if all the teams have announced their All-Star Cup players yet, so if there's any more added from the former Sooner ranks, I will be sure and update you for sure. But I do want to give you a quick update on the OKC Spark. Now, again, I'm recording this on Monday afternoon, the 20th. So this game is happening tonight, but the Spark and the Blaze are playing for a winner-take-all to the playoffs of the AUSL, which starts next week. The loser goes home, winner advances. So it's a pretty big deal. So I will update you on next week's episode, of course, but be sure and go follow the OKC Spark on all their social media. Support our former Sooner, their head coach, Amber Flores, as well as owner, CEO Tina Floyd, who I had both of those ladies on the podcast last year. Big fan of supporting those ladies and softball in the state of Oklahoma. So go give them a follow, and also follow me on social media at Sooner Girl Pod. I will post updates on that game and everything as it happened. And also I will update you on next week's show. Also just wanted to give a cool play that happened this past weekend. We had 2 Sooners that stood out on the diamond for the Spark this past weekend to make a difference, to claw back to even get in this winner-take-all position in the first place. Saturday, Haley Lee knocked in 4 runs to have a huge win on Saturday, and then an unreal game-ending diving play from Sid Romero to keep the season alive on Sunday. Just super cool to see our Sooners doing things at the next level. All right, soccer fans, the full schedule is out. There's lots of opportunities to catch our girls at the pitch, John Crane Field in Norman this season. I had our head coach Matt Mott on last year with our now former player, Hadley Morrell. I also had on Ali Lassanoli, our soccer player, earlier this spring. So go check out those episodes and be sure and mark your calendar with their schedule. Also, volleyball full schedule is out as well. I've had a couple of former volleyball players on before, Sydney Thompson, Lydia Martin, and I just interviewed Elise Honey, our new Sooner transfer from Washington in her 5th year, and that episode will be dropping next month. So volleyball lovers will want to check that one out, as well as marking your calendar. They have a lot of great stuff coming up in McCaslin Fieldhouse this season you won't want to miss, including the Big Ten SEC Clash on September 3rd and 4th. That's a Thursday, Friday. And good news for us attending the home opener for football. We can catch the volleyball game at 2 p.m. and then we can catch the kickoff at the Palace at 7 p.m. On to tennis. Congrats to our Sooner Salekit Omoing for winning the doubles title at the W15 Luen in China. And I do apologize if I totally butchered her name. But want to give a shout out to her. Also, just a reminder, we have several Sooners, current and former, on the men's and women's side on tour around the world. So be sure and check out the men's and women's tennis social media for all of those names. Also, shout out to our golfer, Meg Tilma, for winning the Kansas Women's Amateur this past weekend. Shout out to her. Also, on the golf front, I just interviewed our women's head coach, Veronique Drouin-Luttrell, and her episode will be dropping here in just a few weeks on August the 12th, so you won't want to miss that one as she talks about her trip to the Palmer Cup this summer. Also, just a reminder, lots of club sports are at OU, and there's plenty to support, including, as you're watching the video, you can see my shirt for the Women's Flag Football Club. Their schedule will be coming out soon, so be sure and stay tuned on social media for that. Go give them a follow, and again, give me a follow. I will be sure and share all of that information as it comes out. Also, the women's rugby team as schedule was just announced today, so make sure you check their social media if you want to get out and support our rugby players. Also, a quick update, women's hockey is starting this fall. There are several games already on the schedule. I just talked to their new president, and I will be featuring them on the podcast soon, so stay tuned for some more information on that. But go give the OU women's hockey program a follow on Instagram and stay tuned for their schedule drop so that you can support them. Also, our men's hockey as well will be playing this fall, so be sure and stay tuned on social media for that schedule drop, which should be coming as well. And of course, our lacrosse players, I just had 2 of them recently on in the past couple of weeks. They don't play until the spring, but lots of club sports to keep up with and lots of ways to support our Sooners. So be sure and give them all a follow on social media. Quick shout out to my Sooner MVPs of the week. Again, Emma Tolan for her contribution with Team Ireland in the FIBA U20 World Euro Basket Division B, and also Meg Tilma for winning the women's amateur in Kansas on the golf course this past weekend, and our tennis player, Salekit Omoing, on winning the doubles title at the W15 in China. And shout out to our baseball guys who signed with teams this past week, Isaac Williams with Toronto, Jackson Cleveland with the Royals, and again, Ignacio Yockers for being named to Spain's European Championship team competing in August. Okay, to end the segment with a Sooner fun fact of the week, Molly McGuire, who played from 1980 to 1983, was the first women's basketball player in Oklahoma history to reach the 2,000 point plateau. Her 2,147 career points stood as the school record until the year 2000. Okay, just a couple reminders on what is coming up next on Sooner Girl Sports Pod. Again, next week I have the SEC Media Day recap with the guys from Sooner Scoop. And then for August, we have dropping on August the 5th, the Omaha episode with Dayton LaChance, Trey Gamble, Jason Bowden, Jackson Cleveland and his mom, Kristen, and Dayton Taki and his mom, Christy. Also coming up in August is women's golf head coach Veronique Drouin-Luttrell, our drum major, Christian Rosales, and our volleyball player, Elise Honey. And then also on deck for September, some great things coming. Sooner Scoop on 3, reporter Parker Thune, former football player Jenny O'Grissom, our head women's basketball coach, Jenny Baranchek. If you missed that big announcement the other day, I recorded with Coach Jenny. What an incredible conversation with her. I can't wait for you guys to hear that one, as well as Roughneck Little Sis Sydney Tatum, also coming up in September as we focus on football. And I have some more great things planned for the fall, some more football. I got some hockey, softball, basketball players, a couple of track kids coming up. So much fun stuff coming up, so you won't want to miss out. So again, go give me a follow at Sooner Girl Pod on all social media so you don't miss anything. Make sure you're following me on all your favorite podcast app. Go check out the Sooner Girl Sports Pod merch. Fall will be here before we know it, and I've got hoodies and hats and all kinds of fun stuff, sweatshirts, tees, whatever suits your fancy. I have got it soonergirl.bigcartel.com. Also go and sign up on my Substack for free. You can sign up to get the Playbook newsletter that is coming at the end of July, so you won't want to miss that. Also, ladies, don't forget to sign up for the locker room and don't miss this month's huddle, which is a home plate huddle with the baseball moms. And you can find all of this information, including how to advertise and sponsor the show as well, on the link in my bio. On all my social media platforms is my link tree. Everything is linked there. But as always, you can shoot me a message on social media or send me an email at soonergirlsportspod@gmail.com. Okay, on to this week's amazing interview with our golfer, Audrey Rischer. She is so sweet. I could not thank her enough for giving me part of her time. She is originally from Columbia, Missouri, and is proud to be a Sooner. She loves to cook and bake and spend time outdoors and play sports when she's not golfing, which is super rare. She also enjoys going to and leading Bible studies and going to church on Sundays. Her faith and family are very important things to her. And she also has a black lab named Ruby. Audrey grew up a Missouri Tiger fan because she grew up in Columbia. But when she visited OU campus for the first time when she was in the 8th grade, she knew that she wanted to become a Sooner. Her favorite Sooner memory is making national championship her freshman year and hosting regionals also in Norman. What special moment? We talk about all of that and more in our interview. So I hope that you enjoy my interview with Audrey Rischer. Go give her a follow on Instagram at Audrey Rischer. Be sure and give the women's golf team a follow as well. And I will link all of this in the show notes, as well as be tagging her on social media and all the things throughout the week. So guys, we have a great summer and fall lined up on Sooner Girl Sports Pod, and I cannot wait to share it all with you. But for now, enjoy this fantastic interview, and I will see you all next Wednesday where we talk sports. Well, thank you so much for coming to chat with me. I'm very excited to hear all about your life as a Sooner golfer.
Yes, I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Okay, well, let's just start from the beginning. I know that you said you are from Missouri, so
Yes.
you grew up a Tigers fan. So let's talk a little bit about that, and then how you ended up in Oklahoma and became a Sooner.
Yeah, so I grew up in Columbia, Missouri, literally 15 minutes from campus at Mizzou. Grew up going to football games, basketball games, pretty much every sporting event. And I kind of just had a love for sports, and I started playing golf. My brother actually started playing golf, and I couldn't beat him in anything else because he was stronger than me. And so I was like, I can beat him in golf. And so
Yes,
I started trying really hard because I just wanted to be better than my brother at something.
I love that.
Yeah, and so, like, kind of realized I was having fun with it when I was young, then kinda realized that I could go somewhere with it, and then recruiting rolled around, and then I kinda had a really big decision of, like, do I wanna stay home or do I wanna go somewhere else? And I had driven through Norman, I think in my 8th grade year, and Coach V had watched me that year, and I was like, "I love this place. This is awesome. It's not too far from home." And I kind of had my sights set on OU since then, but obviously it was really hard. I'm a big homebody, so it was really hard
Yes.
for me to make the decision to actually leave home. But once I did, I like I had peace knowing that like, okay, I think I made the right decision. And obviously I've loved my last 2 years at OU and I'm excited for the next 2 or
Oh,
3 depending on the NCAA rule.
yes. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yes, but my brother ended up playing college golf at Missouri State, and so
Okay.
I just wanted to be like him, and that's pretty much why I started playing golf. And yeah, I left Columbia because I decided I needed to grow up on my own a little bit.
I hear all these athletes, especially coming from other countries, other states, and I'm just like, man, you guys are incredible humans for branching out, because I have to admit, 18-year-old Larissa was not that brave.
It's difficult. It really is,
For
and it's not
sure.
Missouri's not even that far, but like a
Right. It's
7-hour
not.
drive, you can't make
Yeah.
it just for a weekend. So yeah, it
Right.
becomes
So
further
true.
and
So true.
further the more you have practice and the more you're busy, so, yeah.
For sure. Well, I'm very glad that you became a Sooner. Obviously, I know you said you've had a great couple of years in Norman, and you have several more to come, hopefully. So that's one good thing about the COVID years and
Yeah.
some of the changes with the NCAA is it's given us a little bit more time with some of our athletes for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I know that you said that your faith is very important to you, and I share that faith, so I understand where you're coming from with that. But I want you to share a little bit about that and the meaning in your life and how that impacts just you being an athlete and being a student and other things in your life.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up, I went to, gosh, all of elementary school, middle school, high school. I went to a Catholic school. I grew up Catholic, and it's a huge thing in my life. I am actually an ambassador for Varsity Catholic,
Oh,
which is yeah. So basically, it's just like an organization of Catholic athletes. But it's been huge just like finding a community outside of sports, outside of golf, especially in Norman. Since I'm not
yes.
from there, I really didn't know anyone besides my team, but,
Yes.
like, being able to have a community at church and have friends at a Bible study and just people that, like, kind of bring you out of you're always known as, "That's Audrey the golfer," or, you're
Yes.
always known
Yes.
as your sport, and so it's really nice to find people who don't really identify you as that, and you're just like a brother and sister in Christ.
I love that.
And yes, but it's definitely been huge, especially in my sport. Like, it's been so difficult when you move and you like experience all these changes.
Yes.
It's so easy to like forget and find your identity in your sport and your results
Yes.
because you're constantly being compared to everyone else. And that's just the nature of sports. That's why they're great, but that's
Yes.
also why they kind of stink
Yes.
sometimes.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah, so just being able to like go back to people who remind you that that's not your identity and that your identity is in Christ alone.
Yes.
It's just been amazing. And I can't imagine not having faith and being in this like world of sports and just this world in general, like
Yes.
finding something to ground you. It's been so helpful.
That's awesome. Well, and I know you mentioned finding your identity outside of your sport, which is obviously
Yes.
super important for so many reasons. I've talked to athletes who graduate and they don't go on to the next level professionally in their sport and things like that, and like their whole world is rocked. And I know it is to an extent, obviously, whether you have faith or not, but having that faith to bounce back on obviously helps you stay grounded in your identity outside of the sport. And that's clearly very important because you guys, as athletes, spend so much time with your sport, with practice, in the gym, traveling with your teammates, all the things. And once that is over, it has to be such a shock. I can't
Yeah.
imagine. I'm not an athlete. I just like to watch sports. I don't participate. But yes, that is something that so many people have mentioned to me, have talked to me about. And so again, I think it's so great that you have that faith to fall back on now, of course, and then going forward in life as well.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so I know you mentioned your favorite Sooner memory was making nationals your freshman year and then hosting regionals. So I remember talking with Reagan about that very briefly when you guys, I think I
Hmm.
spoke to her right before you guys were going to be hosting
Okay.
regionals. But how cool is that? I mean, obviously, getting to be like the home base for any sort of postseason play is super important and super
Yes.
cool. So yeah, talk
Yeah.
a little bit about what that was like being your freshman year. That's quite the high bar set there.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, we made regionals, obviously, and then we knew we were gonna host them.
Mhm.
And so, like, we had just been preparing all year. We'd been playing Jimmy every day, and, like, we felt really prepared. And we kind of had I don't know if Reagan had mentioned this, but we had a lot of weather issues that week.
Okay.
So typically a regional is 18 holes, 18 holes, 18 holes over 3
Mhm.
days, but
Mhm.
we had gotten so much rain that we had to
Of
play
course.
36, 18. Yeah, so they had to completely change, like, the
Oh, wow.
format so that we could get all the holes in, and we were just like, "Okay, in our favor because we're ready for anything. This is our place. We know what's going on." And so
Yes.
like, we felt pretty ready, but obviously we were really nervous. So through
Mhm.
9 holes, we were actually in dead last. through 9
Oh,
holes, we were
wow.
dead last. Yeah. And so my coaches, I guess, had looked at the leaderboard. I obviously hadn't. Most of us don't really look at the leaderboard when we're playing.
Right.
But we were in dead last and we came back and we like cleared the cut line by a good bit. I
Oh,
don't remember how many
wow.
shots, but a lot of
That's
shots.
so
We came
cool.
back and I think we got 3rd or 4th. I don't remember. But we
Wow.
made nationals and it
Mhm.
was so cool. Like we had our entire like everyone's family was there obviously because it was at home. And so it was
Uh-huh.
so cool because we're really all just like one big family. All of our
Yes.
parents, everyone loves each other.
That's
And
good.
so it was so much fun to be able to celebrate that with everyone's parents. My grandparents were there. Like just it was so awesome. And it was the coolest experience because we hadn't made nationals in a long time.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it was just a huge moment with everyone and we were so excited.
That's really cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so where was the national championship last year when you guys got together?
It was at La Costa in
Okay.
Carlsbad, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I always ask golfers, especially, what's your favorite course that you've played on? So was that one of your favorites, or where does it rank among some of the best places you've gone?
This is so funny. I actually have a list
I
of
love
my
it.
favorite golf courses. I don't remember where I have it on my list, but I think it is top
Uh-huh.
10. I did really like that golf
Okay.
course.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes, but one of my favorites ever is Pebble Beach because we play
Okay.
our first event. I don't know, I'm sure you've talked to the other girls and they probably
Yes,
mention it because it's everyone's
they
favorite
did.
event.
They did.
Yes.
Rachel and
Yeah.
Reagan both have mentioned Pebble.
Yeah, it is the best event ever. Like we go, we get treated like royalty. Like it is
I
so
love it.
fun. And it is such a night like obviously it's beautiful. It's right on the ocean. And
Yes.
yeah, going there with all the golf history there, like it's so
Yes,
awesome. And it's so cool that we even get to be a part of it
for
playing a
sure.
tournament there because most people don't get to say that they played a tournament at Pebble Beach. So
Absolutely
yeah.
not.
Yes.
Yeah, that's super cool. And did you guys open last season in the fall at Pebble Beach, or did I make that up?
No, you're correct. Yeah,
Okay.
we
Okay.
open for the last 4 to 5 years, we've opened our season
Okay.
there.
Wow.
Yes.
That's setting
Yeah,
the
it's
bar high, like,
unbelievable. Yeah, so freshman me, my first tournament is at Pebble Beach. I'm freaking
wow.
out. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. It's a
I
big
can
golf course.
imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. My
Yes.
dad played golf, so pretty much my extent of golf knowledge is riding on the golf cart at the golf course with my dad. So I don't I mean I understand the sport, like I know how it works and everything,
Mhm.
and I'll watch like the Masters and like the big tournaments and stuff like
Yes.
that, but I'm certainly not a golfer by any stretch of the imagination. But my dad, he always wanted to go play in Hawaii. And I don't know if that was just him or if that's just like a general golfer's dream. I don't know if there's like a special course there. I don't know, but he always wanted to go play there in
That's
Hawaii.
so funny. I
I guess everybody has their aspirations. So
yes,
okay,
exactly.
so what were some places? Remind me, because I know I talked to Rachel earlier this spring, and it was kind of in the middle of the season. So, what were some of the places where you guys played this spring? If you just want to talk about your season or the team season, and just maybe some of your favorite memories and places from this past season.
Yeah. So we started off going to Florida 3 times in the spring, which was
Okay,
great.
yes.
But it was so funny. You'd think the weather would be great, but it was almost like the weather just followed us everywhere we went.
Apparently so.
Yeah. So like we went to Boca and it was 27 degrees. I haven't seen 27 degrees in I don't know how many years.
Wow. Okay, that is
Yeah.
crazy for sure. That is
It
not
was
normal.
crazy. Yeah. And so we went to that expecting beautiful weather because of how far south it is. But unfortunately, we did
Yes.
not experience that. And then we went to
Wow.
Sarasota and we all
Okay.
played pretty well at Sarasota, but it blew 40-mile-an-hour winds in
Oh
Sarasota.
wow.
So that
Wow.
was also crazy. But like we had a good finish there. I think we finished second there, just a couple back.
Hmm.
And we really had a great spring. We went to Gainesville and then after that we went to Texas, which was
Oh
freezing.
yes.
It was like
Yes, I do
35
remember that weekend.
degrees and
Yes.
blowing 35. I don't think
That's so
I've
crazy.
never been that cold on a golf course.
Wow.
And that golf course is hard. Like it doesn't
Hmm.
need any help, but it had some help.
Wow.
But we actually played really well there, finished top 3, like, pretty close behind 2 top 10 teams, and so, like, we kinda kept building confidence, played pretty well at SMU, at Trinity Forest, which is a beautiful golf course.
Mhm.
And yeah, we kinda just kept building momentum. We went to our regional in Michigan. It was very cold. That was kind of
Yes.
unfortunate. We had had a really good spring, and that was kinda just one of those things where you have a bad tournament when you can't have a
Yeah.
bad tournament,
Yeah.
which was disappointing, obviously. We were really hoping to make it all the way again.
Yes.
But I think it was a big learning experience. There were 3 of us younger girls there. So, me and 2 freshmen. So, I'm a sophomore and they're freshmen.
Yes.
And so, we're losing a lot of girls this year. We're losing 6 girls. I think Rachel maybe mentioned that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, we had 3 older girls and then 3 younger girls. So, I think it was really good for us to just gain that experience for the younger
For
girls.
sure.
Like, for me, it was my first time going anywhere else for a regional, which is definitely
Yes.
a different experience not hosting.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, I think it was definitely good. It was a learning experience for us that we carry with us to next year. But obviously, like, really tough loss for the seniors.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was really sad because we're all very close. So,
Yes, I know. That's something
yes.
that both Reagan and Rachel mentioned about how close you guys are. And of course, you spend a lot of time
Yes.
together. So
Yeah.
I was super sad to see the way that your season ended. And I
Yes.
know that it hurts so bad for you guys, especially the seniors. And like you said, like that
Yes.
team, that group of girls will never be together again in that capacity. And so, uh,
Mhm.
it's always hard. I hate it when seasons are
Yes.
over, but it happens and
Yes.
life goes on, but it still sucks.
Yes. The crazy thing is, though, so I was the only freshman my freshman year last year.
Oh,
And
wow.
so
Okay, okay.
yeah, so I came into a team with those 6 girls. So it was me
Wow.
and
Oh my
them.
gosh.
And
Oh
so
my
it's like,
goodness.
isn't that crazy? So they're my
That is
best friends.
crazy.
Like those
Yes.
girls, because I missed home so bad. Like those girls got me
Yes.
through all of
My
my
gosh.
homesickness, all of everything. They taught me
Oh, wow.
everything I know about OU, where everything is. Like
Yes.
they took me in. And so like
Yes.
I'm like losing my sisters on my team, which is
Oh
so
gosh.
sad. It's
That
so
is so
sad, but
sad.
I'm like, it's okay because then I get to be that for someone else because I know how much it meant
That
to
is so
me.
true. That is
But
so
yeah,
true.
we are so close. They really took me in. So
Oh,
it's
I love to hear
crazy that
that.
I'm gonna be on a team without them. But
I know, and that's crazy to think
yeah,
you were the only freshman on that team with all of those
I
girls,
know.
and
I
now
know.
you're going to be, the upperclassman.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. It
Time
goes
flies,
so
doesn't it?
fast. I know.
It
Yeah. When you're
does.
having fun.
It does, it does.
Yeah.
Sometimes even when you're not having fun.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so what is the next season coming up looking like? Do you know yet where you guys will be going to play and kinda what things are looking like for the fall?
Yeah, I kind of
Okay.
know. I also have
Yeah.
kind of forgotten. But I
Oh,
know
that's okay.
we have some different tournaments, which is why I might be a little off. But we're starting off I think we're starting off in Texas, maybe?
Oh,
Oh
wow,
gosh.
okay. So a little
Yeah,
different, no
so
pebble.
yes, no Pebble. They moved that event to a place in Texas, and that's gonna be our last event
Okay.
of the fall, I think.
Okay.
So we have somewhere, I'm pretty sure in Texas, and then we
Okay.
host the Schooner at Belmar again. That'll
Okay,
be our
awesome.
second tournament. I know at
Okay.
some point we go to New Mexico for a match play event, which I'm really excited
Okay.
about. I love match
Yes.
play, so that'll be great. We don't really get a lot of experience in match play,
Yes.
and so you obviously need it if you make it pretty far
For
because
sure.
at SECs we played match play, but I couldn't like I played match play the last time I
Oh,
played
wow,
was probably
okay.
2 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we don't play match play very often.
Yes.
So then you play stroke play all this time, and then you
Yes.
make it the cut in a tournament where you have to start playing match play, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't done this in forever. This is
It's
crazy."
very different, yes.
It's very different. I really like it, but yeah, it's very different from
Yeah,
what your brain is used to all the time because now
for
instead of
sure.
basing everything off of like your own strategy and your own
Uh-huh.
scoring, you're now just trying to beat one other person, which is so
Yeah.
weird. because
That
you're
is weird.
not supposed to think like that technically
Yes,
on the
yes,
course. And so then you
for
have to be
sure.
like, no, wait, I can. um,
Do
yeah,
today.
yes. So that'll be really good to like just kind of keep that side of our golf game warmed up, I guess, for hopefully when we need
Yeah,
it in postseason.
for sure.
Yeah. And so experience like that is always good. So that'll be good. And then I don't remember where else we're playing, but I know we're pretty much keeping it around us, like around
Yeah,
Texas and
close.
Oklahoma.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I think the only far place we're going is New Mexico this fall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we've never been to that.
Okay, cool. New
Yeah.
place.
Yes.
Well, I know you mentioned hosting the Schooner Classic. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Or okay, in the fall. And so that is, I mean, you guys don't host a ton, but you usually host a
Hmm.
few during the season. But I know the other girls too, and all athletes will talk about how important it is to have fans there to support you guys.
Yes.
And I know that that's not something that's normal for people to say, "Oh, we're going to go out and support the golf team or go out there to the
Yeah.
golf course and watch." But yeah, how cool is it when you guys have people that actually show up to support you on the golf course, especially during a competition like that?
It's awesome. It really kind of just changes I guess the vibe
Yeah.
on the golf course. Like it just the support makes a big difference. I feel like
Yes.
we're not used to that. Obviously, my parents
Yeah.
come to every event. Most parents travel to all the ones they can make it to.
Yeah.
But it's different when you have friends and Sooner
Yeah.
fans out there.
For sure.
So yeah, it's really helpful and it makes it a lot more fun too, I think. It's kind of
Yeah.
an advantage of hosting. And even though I guess it's not that common in golf, it does make a big difference.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just remind everybody when the schedule comes out that they
Yes.
need to mark their calendars and come out
Yes.
to Belmar and support you guys that weekend.
Please
So,
do.
um, okay, one more question I had, but I wanted to ask you about the facilities. I know I got to briefly talk with Rachel about it earlier this season, and her having been there kind of before and after, so to speak.
Mhm.
But talk a little bit about the facilities and kind of how you think they compare to other ones and just why you're thankful to have them. I know when I talked to Rachel, it was like right after an ice storm. And so she talked about how you guys played were able to play indoors in the simulator and all of that. So if there's anything you want to
Yes.
share about the facilities and all of that, it looks amazing. I need to come check it out.
Yes, you should. Yeah, the facilities are incredible. I mean, they're pretty much at the top of the list. There are obviously a few other schools that have really great facilities, but we're
Hmm.
definitely up there.
I love it.
Yes. Yeah, I think like it's really cool. Our facility, you really can practice anything.
Yes, that's
We
good.
kind of joke on the team. We're like, if you don't get better here, you're not trying because
Oh,
like you really can practice everything. Like
right. It makes sense.
it does. And so yeah, I was also here during the, like, trailer
Okay.
era when we were
Yes,
in the trailer locker rooms, so I'm glad I got to experience that because I think I appreciate the facility a lot more now.
absolutely. Yes.
But we have everything your heart desires in there. We have snacks, drinks, ping pong, recovery, shuffleboard. Like, a lot of the time, I will go hang out there. I won't even be
Yeah,
practicing the whole time I'm there. I'll just go, like, walk in and lay on Coach V's couch for an
I
hour
love it.
and just bug her. Yes, and it's super nice on days when you don't have as much class. You can go
Yes.
or you have online class, you can do it there.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's so nice to kind of have that anytime we want. I could go there
That's
at
awesome.
2 in the morning if I wanted to and hit balls. I'm not going to, but I could.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so nice. I obviously when I visited the old called it the co. So the old
Okay.
co was there. And so the coaches were just like, here's the plans for the new facility. I had no idea what I was getting myself
Oh,
into really.
wow. Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, I just kind of trusted them, which I'm glad I did. It obviously turned out great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so nice to be able to practice any time of the day. It's rainy, it's
That's awesome.
cold, it doesn't matter, we
Yes.
can practice, which
That's
is
really
great
cool.
because Oklahoma weather, you never
Yes,
know.
obviously. And apparently your team had bad luck with weather, so it was even more
Yeah,
important.
it follows us.
Yes. Well, here's hoping for better weather this next coming year for you guys for sure. Maybe
Yes, I
since
hope
you
so.
all the senior girls are gone, maybe it was their fault.
Yes, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Okay, so is there anything else you want to talk about? If you want to share anything about, I know several of the girls have mentioned Coach V and just what she means to them, or some of the other coaches, or anything like that you want to share?
Yeah, okay. Also, I just remembered that I forgot when you asked about our schedule, we do host
Yes.
twice. We
Oh,
host
nice. Okay,
twice.
cool.
The other one
Okay.
we host, yeah, I totally forgot. I was thinking about what our schedule looks like, and I just remembered that we're hosting in Kansas also, right
Okay.
after the
Awesome.
Sooner. So we host
Oh,
in
nice.
Wichita.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so
Awesome.
I totally
Well,
forgot. I'm glad I remembered because I feel like I'd
yes.
call from Coach V. She'd be like,
Hey, it's
"You
okay. I kind
seriously
of put
didn't
you on the
mention
spot.
that we're hosting twice?"
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that.
Yes. Yeah, but something else. Yeah, the coaches they're so amazing. Obviously, I've mentioned a few times, leaving home was really hard for me.
Hmm.
I love Missouri. I love my home. I love my home golf course.
Yes.
But like V and Tanner really, they both kind of took me
Hmm.
in. V was like my mom away from my mom for
I love
my
it.
whole freshman year. Yeah. Anytime I needed anything, like I call either of them. They're always there. They're so supportive too. Like they're shoulder to cry on, but they're also there to motivate you and kind of help you remember who you are, you know? Like you
Yeah,
can
for
cry on
sure.
their shoulder, but they're also going to remind you like you're a really good golfer and like
Yes.
you can get better. But I think it's really important. Their main goal, like, is not just to develop us as a golfer, but they're developing young women who are going to be successful, whether it's in golf
Yes.
or in life.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, the coaches' support, like, it means the world to all of us. And yeah, we wouldn't be here without them. They're great coaches and
I love that.
even better, just friends.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
that's
our
awesome.
friends too, which is so nice.
For sure.
But yeah, I've been keeping in touch with them all summer, so they can't get rid of me. I always text them. I
I
called
love it.
Coach V yesterday. I was putting and I called her and she didn't answer. She was like, I think she was caddying for her daughter in a tournament. She's like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "I have a question about my putting. Can you look at it?"
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm sending her videos of my putting as she's caddying for her daughter.
That's so funny.
Yes.
Well, I remember seeing a photo earlier in the year. I want to say it was around the holidays. I don't remember for sure, but there were a few of the girls that had gone to a program that Coach V's daughter had at school, and Coach V
Yes.
was gone for something. I believe she was getting recognized for something, if I remember correctly. But nevertheless, she was gone somewhere. And some of you girls went to the school to support her daughter. And I think that just goes to show how much you guys love each other and you know each
Yes.
other and want to support each other. And I think that says a lot for you girls as the team, and then her as a coach and her family, of course. So that was super cool to
Yes.
see that for sure. And I can't
We had
remember.
such a blast. It
That's
was
cool. Did you
so
get to,
much
were you
fun.
there? Okay.
Yeah, it was
That's
me and
awesome.
Reagan and Rachel that went,
Okay. I was
but
going
it
to
was
say,
so
I
funny.
think Reagan and Rachel were both in it, but that's so
Yes.
cool.
I mean, they were so little and so cute. And they were all singing Christmas songs, and it was just the cutest thing
Oh,
ever. But I
I'm,
babysit Amelia sometimes.
I'm
Yes.
sure that
So
she
she hangs out with us
fangirls.
a lot.
That's awesome. And the kids, the
Hmm.
other kids, like the friends, I'm sure that if they were like, oh gosh, there's OU athletes here watching our program, you
It
made
was
their whole
so
day, I'm
funny.
sure.
Like, we thought she was gonna be so excited to see us, and, like,
Uh
we went up to her
huh.
after, we were like, "Good job," and she's like, "What are you doing here?" She had to play it cool. We were like,
Yes.
"Come on, we know you're so excited we're here right now."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so
Kids are
funny.
so funny. Kids are so
Yes,
funny.
I
That's
know. She
how
had to
old
be
how
cool
old
in
is
front of
she?
her friends. I
For
think she's
sure. Yeah.
7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was 6 at the
Oh
time,
my
now she's
gosh.
7. Yeah.
That's
So she had to be
hysterical.
cool
Oh my gosh.
in front of her 1st grade friends.
My gosh. Yeah. She could
Yeah,
not let everybody know she was glad y'all were there. That's so
that's
funny.
right, yeah.
Okay, well, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you have to get ready to go tee off, but is there anything else you want to talk about or mention before I let you go?
Gosh, I don't think so.
Okay,
On the
I
spot
try to cover
again.
all the bases. I know,
I
right?
think
I
you
know, right?
did. Yes.
I try to. I try to. Well, I cannot thank you enough for chatting with me. I'm always thankful when anybody gives me their time because It means a lot to me that you give me time to share your story, and everybody always loves hearing different athlete stories, and especially you golfers and some of the other ones that not everybody always gets out to support. It kind of reminds
Yes.
them, oh hey, we need to follow the golf girls, we need to mark our calendar and get out and support them and things like that. So
Yes.
again, I just thank you for taking the time to share with me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course.